are encouraged.
Can we get a cup of coffee in here, please?
Damn good coffee and hot.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I like the way he says dog. Coffee with the dog. What kind of accent is that? Dog. Oh. Voice is not here yet. Voice will get here sometime today. By the way, I got to do a music piece on Rush. Music reminds me. I'm Sawyer. Good morning, folks. It is Friday, your favorite day of the week. Weekday of the week, not the weekend. But the weekend is upon us, or almost upon us, and it's a beautiful day here. The sun is shining. It's a little cold still, 39 degrees here, but winter is still on us, even though the sun has finally come out after 2 weeks of hiding. It will be here for one day and then go on another week-long vacation, and I will be bummed again. But for today, the sun is shining. Everything's pretty cool. It is Friday, April 5th, 2024. Everybody's birthday. It's everybody's birthday. I can't just say happy birthday to one person or two people or three people, but I have to say happy 40th anniversary to my nephew Zach. And if I start on this roll, I'm going to go. I know 60 people. That's probably an exaggeration. Who have this day for a birthday. I guess it's a good day to be born. Anyway, happy birthday to all my friends and family who were born on April 5th. Hope it's a great one. Today in the news, pee-pee is trending, and it's not what you think it is. It's not about Donald Trump or prostitutes in Moscow, although some people probably would say that never happened. That never happened. Don't pick on my daddy. It's about Pierre Palaveri, or whatever his name is, the guy who's running for Prime Minister of Canada. He is the Canadian Trump. The PP is about his initials, by the way. He's not, as far as we know yet, he's not a fan of piss, but he could be. Anyway, I was on the road yesterday for most of the day. Our friend Reed Metcalf seems to be MIA. I'm looking him up now. I should have been, as Jackie would say, I'm doing my homework in school, in class. But you know what? It's been a busy 24 hours. He's still on Speaker Hub. He's still on. I don't know. He seems to have disappeared though. Uh-oh. There's a GoFundMe. This could be the thing. I don't know what the GoFundMe is. He just has a GoFundMe with no information about it. Just send me money. Anyway, we Reed, if you are out there listening or if you hear this at all, please make contact and let us know you're okay. People are concerned about you. We have a decent show for you today. Kay Banks will be with us in just a few moments. She's a comedian out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. And in the second hour, Hashandra, who is a speaker, writer, author, musician, and possibly attorney. I don't know. She's involved with a lot of organizations here: Georgia Legal Services, Mad Foundation, the Pink Group LLC. Uh, we'll find out about her. She's an enigma, as they say. Anyway, we're looking forward to a good show. It's time to say hello to our good show staff. Stephen, the
Oh, good morning,
sitcom,
sir.
and Ron, the David Tell lookalike, Kane, and DD, the cup pointer at her
Oh,
guy.
man.
Everybody,
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Men, do you desire to have a scalp like the Mind Dog? Ladies, do you want your breast to look as supple as the sitcom's head? Try Head and Shoulder Boulder Holders for the look that looks like the look you're looking for. Only available at MindDogTV.com.
what inspired that weird little take on? I don't know where you're going now. It's like there's no real product attached. You're just making.
When was the last time there was real product attached to anything I promoted on MindDogTV.com?
That's the first time any.
The sneakers. Oh, I got Jordan Peterson said the sneakers.
Okay, so that was one thing, and that was an accident.
That was about 2 weeks ago.
And that was an accident. I didn't know they were real
But
sneakers.
this Head and Shoulder stuff, I don't know what the hell that's all about.
It's Head and Shoulder.
Breast and shoulders. Breast and I don't know.
Head and Shoulder boulder holders.
Hey, I have something I would like to add, especially since it's Friday. Hey, everybody, it is Friday. You know what that means? MyBookie.com. Last night, I bet if my father would have lived through the night, guess what? He didn't. He made the parlay, though. Remember, MyBookie.com for Friday needs.
All right.
Yes.
I got the over-under.
GD, did you compare?
I got the underalls.
Did you ask if they wanted their head to be as supple as or their breast to be as supple as my head?
Is your head supple?
Not really.
Did say that. I did.
You did say that. Okay.
A baby's head, maybe.
Well,
A baby's head is a little supple. It kind of moved because the brain hasn't, the skull hasn't hardened yet.
No soft spots.
I know Steven's skull is hard.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Stephen, that was actually my third choice of lines. My second choice line was going to be as supple as Ron's beard.
Steven's head is hard, and I'm even hard. It's Friday.
Well, no, because I've touched Ron's beard. I've hugged him and I felt it on my face, and it's supple.
I don't think there's a thing one dude should say about another dude.
Yeah.
Brought out the severe homophobia.
What am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to lie?
Yeah,
I mean, there are women out there. There are people out there looking at Ron's beard and saying, "Is it as
you
supple
lie
as
about having a wife. You lie about having a mother. You lie about everything else. Why not lie about that? Just
because people can touch Ron's beard and verify.
You can't touch a man's beard. Don't ever touch a man's beard.
Oh, and I'd be afraid to hug him because if our beards connected, they'd form some weird sweater thing.
I'd be afraid he'd whip out a recorder and start playing hot cross buns at me.
Only if you grab his buns will he play that.
That's true.
I've heard that was true.
GD was the one who alerted me that our friend Reed is missing. You got any more information about him? Did you?
No, I reached out and that's let's put it this way. When I went to reach out, it diverted me to a user, just a username. So I didn't know if his account got hacked and he hasn't chosen a new name, kind of like what Willie might do, or if he just thought better of being friends with me and said, I'll stay friends with Matt and Willie, but no, I
was thinking of him the night before you brought it. So 2 nights ago, I was thinking about him. I need to get in touch with him, and then you brought up that he was missing, and I looked for him yesterday and didn't see him. He's also kind of gone on Twitter. Hasn't posted anything on Twitter for a long time. He's got a GoFundMe. When was the last time he posted? September of 2018.
Okay,
that's not recent.
Well, I reached out to him because he wanted to do that show in Kentucky in
Paducah,
May.
Right.
In May, I think.
Right.
And
that's what I was thinking about.
And then he asked me about not having enough, not being able to find Black talent in there. in Kentucky,
well,
around his neck of the woods. So I hooked him up with like 3 or 4 black comedians, and that was the last I heard from him. It was like, son of a bitch, he called my bluff. I'm not asking him to do anything else.
You are everybody's contact to the black world.
It only if you're white. If you're black, it's like he doesn't know anything about black people. if you're white, I look like very black. It's like,
so white people, if you need a portal to the black universe, the G.D. Fenderson portal is available to you.
It was like that in high school too. I was the black guy that white chicks like to date, so they could take a black guy home, but know that I wasn't like one of those rebel, burn down your house, steal your shit black guys.
You were the guy just to scare the shit out of their father.
Yes,
and ruin the family dynamic.
And the weirdest thing is that fathers love me. I even became friends with the one father who actually was in the Klan, but he liked the way I treated his daughter so much compared to the way the white guys treated his daughter that he was willing to put up with me because his daughter was happy for like the first time.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the power of the GD love machine.
Can't spell care without KKK.
I'm impressed. Right. I'm impressed.
Hey, Jen, if you're out there, I'm married now, so stop calling.
All right. Let's play a commercial and then we'll meet Kay Banks. Now, Stephen already knows Kay Banks. He's the reason she's on the program today. He's the one who arranged for her. I'm going to make him do the introduction. His big moment of introducing his first guest is about to arrive. Are you scared?
No.
Oh.
He's introduced people before in the show, hasn't he? Didn't he have like a friend before? Someone who said
he had a friend before.
So he introduced them too. He botched it, but
it was horrible. I did, but it was I did it
terrible. I thought I did terrible introductions, but you're much worse than I am.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our chief sports correspondent Ron Kane. Is there a game tonight, or is like it's men's tonight, women's tomorrow night, or no? They both play at the same time.
No, it all happens on Saturday, and I haven't checked yet. So I don't know.
I've checked. All 4 games are actually happening the same time on the same court. They're just using color-coded balls so they know which team scored.
That's a little weird.
Well, they're trying to save money.
It's not good because it's all about television ratings, right? And television dollars. It's not good to have all the games on one day or on at the same time.
On the same court. But this
by the way, the Mets won a game.
Yeah, with a walk-off home run against the Tigers.
Yay. That'll be the last time that happens this year.
And can I just want to mention one thing. You referred to Hashandra as an enigma, and that is not the proper feminine form for the N-word. Just so you know. You can't
I would never call her that word.
It's nigress. It's nigress. Okay. And I can say that
isn't that a vegetable or something?
I can say that because even though Gubs doesn't want me to say the other N word, nigress is not that word.
Stop picking on me. Anyway, it's time to play the commercial for MyBookie. Go to MyBookie, bet the rents. This is your last weekend because listen, Monday, world's coming to an end. We're going to have, I don't know. We'll talk about this when we get back.
Ron's
like half of it, there's a line in Indiana that's going to be not subject to the end of the world eclipse. We'll talk about that when we get back.
The experts at MyBookie have created the ultimate NCAA March Madness betting guide to help you make the best bets throughout the tournament. Throughout this betting guide, the pros will go in depth on the best teams, players, and bets throughout the entire NCAA March Madness tournament. 2024 March Madness 85th edition of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament tips off Tuesday, March 19th to Monday, April 8th, 2024. Go to mybookie.com/minddog and get up to $1,000 welcome bonus.
That's the first time that I actually realized that it says Division I Men's Basketball. Obviously, you can bet on the ladies as well.
The thing is, you would think that a booking site, a bookie site, would know not to put the Blue Devils as like the last picture in their ad because they're not going to anywhere. They should have gone chalk. They should have put UConn at least, just because they're bookie people. but I'm sorry. That and he got the guy who carries the ball, can't dribble, and then he got the guy who goes for a layup. We don't know if he makes it. I'm sorry.
On my bookie, for my bookie's defense or whatever I'm trying to say here, which we don't really have a clue what I'm trying to say here. They did not create that commercial. InVideo did.
They are terrible. InVideo is awful. They are terrible.
It's not like AI. It would be good if we could find a adaptation for AI to pick games. If it's truly artificially intelligent, if we could get a system where they could pick winners for us, that would be really good. All right, Steven, here's your big moment. Introduce Kay Banks to us.
All right. So joining us today is a good friend of mine. She is a cornerstone in the comedy scene here in Fort Wayne. She is a producer of shows. She is a comic. She is an even better person. Folks, it's Kay Banks.
Good morning, Kay. And she is in the corner, so she is a cornerstone. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you for being here this morning. Now,
Kay, I'm sorry,
Indiana, thriving comedy scene. Yes.
Thriving. Yes, it's building. I would call it building, a building comedy scene.
Are you
small but mighty scene?
Small but mighty. Are you on this the side of Indiana that is going to see the end of the world on Monday, or are you going to live till Tuesday?
I think I'm living. I'm barely alive today. I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm a creature of the night here at 9 o'clock in the morning. I really don't know what's going on, but I feel like, I'm not going to be able to see it. I think I'm too far north. I think I have to travel like an hour south to be able to see it.
Wow.
Yeah, an hour south of us to be able to see anything. So if you want to die, you have to travel first.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
which is, kind of always the case, That's why we go to war and shit. Anyways, go ahead.
But the panic is everywhere in the country. But India, so the people who are panicking, we should just send them all to like northwestern Indiana. Is that
yeah. Exactly. There's nothing going on there. Please come to northwestern Indiana. Give us something to do. So please.
I've only experienced moments of cars breaking down in Indiana. Basically, it's a state I want to get through. It's one of those states where I try to drive as fast as I can, even going 120 miles an hour, figuring that if a cop goes to pull me over, I'm just going to race him to the Illinois line, or get through Indiana as fast.
You're going to do your Blues Brothers impersonation?
I never thought of it that way. It was more like Smokey and the Bandit last time I did it, to be honest with you. It was in a black Trans Am, and we're coming back from San Diego, California, and just that was the mindset. Every state, just drive to get to the next state line. And so driving 120 miles an hour, if they try to pull me over, I'm just going to cross the state line and get through. Anyway, tell us about your comedy career. How long have you been doing it?
About 2 years now. It's been a fun little 2 years.
Why?
Evolving, growing.
Why do you do this to yourself?
Why do I do this to myself? Oh man. Do you want to hear the heartfelt part, or
the question I really want to ask is: when you were young, did you always think to yourself, "When I grow up, I want to be poor"?
Yeah, no. I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy ever since I was old enough to hate myself. Absolutely. That was the deal. Like, as soon as I was like, what was it, 12? I was like, man, I definitely want to do stand-up. And then I saw like really good comedians, like Bo Burnham comes to mind. I remember watching his special. He was the same age as me. And he came out with his first special, What? And I was like, oh, I'm not funny enough to do this. So I waited another 20 years before I started doing it.
Now, did you grow up in Indiana?
No, I grew up in the Chicago suburbs.
Okay, because I was wondering why it took you so long to hate yourself at 12, but you didn't grow up in Indiana.
Right.
Nobody grows up
here
in Indiana. Everybody, it's like Neverland. Nobody grows up in Indiana.
Right.
You can leave though, right? There is an escape clause.
They got me. My car broke down as I was trying to go 120 miles an hour, and then they just kept me here. And now I got to pay child support. I don't know. It's really weird.
Could happen.
Yeah.
I only have two. Well, is Steve a real friend, or are you just being polite?
Who's Steve?
Steve.
Okay.
Oh yeah. No, him and I, we're best of pals. We're the greatest. Oh yeah. That guy, yeah, the guy that looks like a tit. Yeah. We're best of pals. We've known each other for 3 days. We've been, we really been hanging out. It's a good guy, good time, good guy.
How do you
Let's
deal with the
test
embarrassment
GD for a second. GD, who's Bo Burnham?
Who's who?
Bo Burnham.
I have no idea.
I thought so. Okay.
Is he a basketball player? Is that why you asked me?
Yeah, he's a basketball player.
6'5", 280-pound black dude.
Okay, he was probably on the Harlem Globetrotters then.
Yeah. I'm not surprised that you don't know him, but he actually is. You know what? His visibility isn't like all that. Matt Rife has just signed for 2 Netflix.
Now, I know Matt Rife is not a member of the Harlem Globetrotters. You're not going to fool me with that one.
No, he's definitely not. He's the Morningside Heights Globetrotters, which is the white side of Harlem.
If you said Washington Generals, you could have stumped me, but
yeah. But just interesting. She brought up Bo Burnham. I've been meaning to do a little comic profile on Bo. He's one of the, I think, more brilliant comics working today, but he doesn't have a high visibility of somebody like Matt Rife, who just signed for 2 Netflix specials. I don't think Bo's ever had any of those kind of high-profile specials, has he? That I'm not aware of.
No, he had that little experiment inside, which wasn't really a special as much as it was like really just a art piece. Right. But no, he hasn't. He's had like 3. He's had 3 Comedy Central specials, and I think he had 1 Netflix special, but I don't think it was high profile.
Right.
He also directed Gerard Carmichael's special.
Wow.
He's also an author.
So now, what are your ambitions in comedy? Are you looking to be a road dog, or are you just looking to work in local Fort Wayne, Indiana area?
Fort Wayne. I'm happy to travel. I would probably travel. I'd probably be a part-time traveler for sure. Really, I want to write. That's kind of my deal. I really enjoy the whole writing process of it all. So that would just be what I'd really want to do, is like write for like a radio show or a sitcom or something like that.
How cheap will you work?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I watched Quiet on Set, and I was like, I could probably be like one of 4 of the ladies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. They had to split their paycheck, and I was like, I'd just quarter my paycheck, and I'd give it back to Dan Schneider if I could work. You know what I mean?
What are you willing to do to Dan Schneider? That's the question.
Now that he's older, not that much. Back in the 90s, different story. I was a child back then. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Writing. Do you write jokes? Because it's there's still opportunities for. I hate to call them skits. I hate that friggin' word, but shows like Saturday Night Live and that sort of format where you're writing little vignettes. Is that what you're talking about, or you want to write jokes for comedians?
No, definitely like shows, little sitcom shows. SNL would be cool. Little SNL offshoots would be awesome. Yeah, just different stuff. Radio shows, internet television that's, blowing up. Little like Adult Swim sketches would be cool.
Have you looked into how you actually, the strategy behind getting started in that?
Right now I'm just trying to be better at writing. So no, I have not. I have not worked on that.
Well, it's interesting because almost everybody I know who has gotten those opportunities, it was sheer luck. It was basically through networking, not people, not necessarily submitting stuff to be used in that way. It was more like, oh, I know somebody. Let's give them a call and bring them in here and see if they're a good fit, chemistry wise with the team. And then if that happens, they parlay that into a full-time thing. Usually it's it's like a welcoming into the cult experience. And then it evolves over time. So there is no real strategy on that. This is what I was interested in, because I know a lot of people who would love that. I mean, the opportunity to just write and not have to not have to perform it. I don't know. It seems like a very interesting or attractive type of position.
Oh yeah. Don't get it twisted. I love performing. Like one thing I always say is like people always ask me, what did you do to start doing comedy? I was like, it's the only place I can find where I could talk uninterrupted for 5 minutes. So that's why I really started.
You work dirty, or you a clean comic?
I'm not great at clean. I have like clean comedy. Like if I had to do like a spot for a clean show, I could do it. But no, mainly I'm really dark and I'm really really dirty. Like I talk about my vagina a lot.
We all do. We all talk about your vagina a lot.
No.
Thank you. I love it when people talk about my vagina. Actually, it makes me feel good.
That's all we talk about. That's it.
Because it just takes away from my what were you talking about? Boulder holders? It takes away from that. And everybody looks at that. And it's nice for people to, look at me, but then just talk about my vagina. That makes me feel
I hadn't
good.
even noticed that because I've been staring at your eyes.
Oh, that's so sweet. What color are they?
Yes.
They're in the shade right now from the hat. So
yeah. I get it.
This is interesting. All right, so I like the fact that you talk dirty because or work dirty because I can't really relate to clean. I really can't because I've been a pig my whole life. But our next guest later on in the next hour, in her bio, it talks about the trauma she had from losing her virginity as a teenager. And for me, I read that and I was like, don't all girls lose their virginity as a teenager? I mean, is that...
No, some of them are younger than that, and some of them are a little older.
I will say losing my virginity was traumatizing, but I think it's just because, he wasn't good at it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, oh, man.
Did you give it away?
Yeah,
I gave it.
All right, so you didn't lose it.
Apologize.
You know where it is. You just can't get it back.
Well, I don't know. I don't know where it is anymore. I live here, no longer there.
You knew where you left it. That's all.
Yeah. It is gone. It is past for sure.
Do you find that interesting that just that sentence, the trauma of losing your virginity as a teenager? I mean, the majority of, I think, women do somewhere between 13 and 20 or 13 and 19. They lose their virginity in those years. I would say the overwhelming majority. I could be wrong. I mean, according to GD, little girls, because that's what he's into. But
not into. That's all I can afford to pay for. Let's get it right, please.
He orders on Temu.
Thank you, Stephen. A man who appreciates the value of a buck.
Well, I've always been half off, so it makes sense. I like a good deal.
Yeah, I like how it keeps getting creepier because Matt keeps doubling down. When these girls are like 13 years old. And
yeah. Thank you.
It's almost like a bad Leslie Nielsen sketch.
Speaking of creepy, about P. Diddy's son is now involved in a sex shoot, and P. Diddy is one of the co-defendants in that. Did you hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah, it's one of the things trending today. Diddy's son is supposed to have molested a woman on Diddy's boat during one of these music mogul parties or something. She sued him for $55 million.
Whoa! How do I get on that boat?
How do you price molestation? I mean, how do you figure out the dollar value on that?
Well, first you got to figure out your target and figure out how much they're worth. I think that's the first part.
Wait, whose target?
Well, he said who you're suing.
If I'm gonna be molested, I want to make sure that I'm gonna get something out of it. I don't want to be a McDonald's worker.
So
that's a good point. Like that is extra trauma when you being molested is like, the initial molestation, right? Like, oh man, I got touched. But then you're like, oh man, I got touched by my not rich uncle. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Right. And he smells like McDonald's French fries. So now every time you go to get a Big Mac, you just have flashbacks.
Right. Like, why couldn't it have been my rich uncle with a Tesla? Like, at least give me that. You know what I mean?
The first question you need to ask when a guy knocks you down is like, what's your credit score?
Exactly.
Maybe that's what the trauma is that Hashandra is talking about. We don't know because none of us read her book that she wrote in 2017 about that.
How do you know nobody's read the book? I think Stephen read the book.
No, right.
He
Like
texted me last night what a fabulous read it was.
Like he can read Braille.
I wonder if Diddy was just mad at his kid. It's like, I told you they need to be drugged first before you molest them.
That's Cosby. That's how Cosby would talk to his kid.
Is this a Diddy thing? Is he like a Cosby kind of guy?
I don't know that for sure, but I mean, considering everything else that's against him, I mean, why not?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think there are two different types of animals. I think the Cosby species is like a toad. He wants you to lick the skin and pass out. And the Diddy species is more like a predator type thing. Find the vulnerable, weak.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna triple down on the creepiness here now from my perspective. I'm sorry. I have to do this because, and you're old enough to know this, that
who
you.
Okay.
In Cosby's generation, it wasn't about getting the woman incapacitated. It was about everybody. He would take them too. Guys would get fucked up and give Quaaludes made sex really good. So you would give a woman a Quaalude, but you would take one yourself. It wasn't about like let's take advantage of her because she's passed out. It's like let's all get fucked up. There's nothing that compares to sex on Quaaludes. If you haven't done it, I recommend everybody do it right now for breakfast this morning. Drop a Quaalude.
Are you supplying us with it somehow? I mean, it's not like everybody.
I don't think you can get those anymore.
Yeah, it's not like we all have Quaalude connections. So Matt, do you have like a Quaalude connection that you're like holding?
I don't think they even really make them anymore, to be honest with you. So I don't know. It's been a lot of years.
Enjoy the suffering.
Yeah. That is our tagline. I gotta incorporate that on the website. RFK. Hello, RFK.
Hello.
Back to UK. Do you like RFK? That's the K. That's the transition. RFK to K.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know enough about RFK. I just don't understand. Like, is he like trying to unalive himself? Because like his dad ran for office, got murked, and his uncle was in office, got murked. And I think his one uncle was like in Congress for 30 years and never ran because he was afraid of being murked. So I just don't understand.
45 years. He did run.
Yeah,
he did run. Chad did run.
But it got sidetracked because he had this little thing where he dumped a car full of his girlfriend in a canal, or fell off a bridge, and then went back to a party. So it kind of ended his little attempt at running. But,
allegedly it was a car. No,
could have been a bus. No, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. And then like, there's just a lot of other stuff. He was on Epstein's plane.
Well, that's why I brought it up. Here's the thing with him. He says, they asked him about Epstein. He said, I don't know if Ron could do this better than me, but all the people that he was he said, I'm friends with everybody. I got Harvey Weinstein, I got Roger Ailes, I got Epstein, I got Bill Cosby, O.J. Simpson. These were all my friends. This is his defense for hanging out with Epstein. I was like, I'm not sure that's the win.
I gotta say that Jeffrey Epstein, it was a good friend of mine. We never touched kids together. But he is like, I need to have you on my plane because of how your uncle and your dad died. It turns me on.
You think, because this isn't the first time he's made this excuse that I hang out with all the perverts. Don't,
That's like a cannibal saying, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I did not eat those babies. I was hanging out with Jeffrey Dahmer.
I gotta say that perverts are Americans too. Just because we like to fuck around, people get fucked up.
I want to see RFK really say exactly that sentence.
Do you incorporate any political stuff into your work, Kay?
No, I don't believe in politics. Like I just don't. I don't like. It's just not. It's not my thing.
Is
like
that like the Easter Bunny? You don't believe in politics, so it just
yeah, in my opinion,
exist.
Trump. Yeah, politics don't exist. Trump doesn't exist. Biden. He exists, but just barely. Like I don't believe in it. I don't need to add it into my stuff. Like I got enough. I talk about enough fucked up shit. I don't need to talk about politics to really get people against.
Do exist, but they can't compete with my muscles and the creatine that I snort every day.
Oh my god, it is so funny for him to be like, "I'm so healthy," but like you can't hear him say that. Like that's the funniest thing to me.
His voice wasn't always like that because I've been asking, like, some people have gotten on me for making fun of his voice, and because he was born that way, but he wasn't born that way. There's tapes of him from 20 years ago where he's not talking like that. So what happened? Did somebody punch him in the throat?
I think it was vaccines, right? Isn't that what he said? That's why he's so anti-vax, is because it was a vaccine that caused it.
People are pussies who take vaccines. That's why I work out every day.
I thought he said he wasn't anti-vax. Just because I said no vaccine was ever safe doesn't mean I'm anti-vax. Was the last statement I heard him say.
I want to say I'm completely non-vax and completely waxed. Bend me over. Look at this asshole. It's so smooth. So smooth.
There's my next ad.
I will let President Biden enter me and Donald Trump enter me at the same time to prove that I love this country.
No, I get it. You're not the DP candidate. That's not your DP pick.
My VP said, "Hey, Robert, do you do the DP?" I said, "Hell yeah."
Kate, do you do any impressions?
No, I do not do any impressions. I'm working on Christopher Walken. That's about as best as I got right now.
Weird. I'm working on Christopher Unwalken.
That is your Steve Unwalken? Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You know, one of the thing I do love about Steve is that whenever we go on road trips together, neither of us really have to walk that much because the parking, it's just so great.
It really
I love it.
Yeah,
we can't go into a restaurant.
He is your ticket to the blue zone.
Yeah, and like a cop helped us go into the parking, and I was like, this just feels illegal. And then like, he just comes out and you're like, oh yeah, this is great. This is wonderful. Like cops are more friendlier and shit.
I hadn't considered that prep of being your friend, but now it just makes you all that more attractive.
My church growing up used to take me to the theme parks just to get them to the front of the lines.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to Cedar Point. I forgot to mention that to you. I got it scheduled and everything.
Hell yeah.
So you know.
I wanted to let you know because I know that you enjoy writing because we talked about it. I reached out to some contacts I have in Indy who produces skits and things like that. They put them on different movie apps as well as on YouTube.
Oh,
so
cool.
I sent him your information. So he's going to be reaching out to you at some point today or tomorrow.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
He's going to be an entertainment mogul before all is said and done. He's pushing some big buttons, getting into the business end, not just the performance end, but he's becoming a mogul.
Yeah, dude, he's gonna be a producer here soon.
I want to see everybody win. Try to win.
He's good. He's gonna be owning Paramount here in a moment. He's doing great, man.
Everybody can't
don't
win.
Put that on me.
Everybody can't win.
They
go to mybookie.com and you'll figure out that everybody.
Yes, that is true. It's
That's
true.
how you lose your shirt. That's how you lose your shirt betting so that everybody can win. That's not what happens.
No, I'm a realist. I know they can't all win, but that doesn't mean I can't cheer them on in the process.
There is some.
That's true. I just cheer people on more silently than others. You know what I mean? Be like, good for you, versus like big cheering for some folks, for sure. But I'm always cheering everybody on, for sure.
Well, I'll come back to Matt Rife on this because.
Oh yeah, except for a couple. I forgot about those couple.
He decided. I'm not a Matt Rife hater. When people were when he first got when he was blowing up and everybody was talking about him, I was defending him. But I don't think he's worth all the attention that he's getting. I certainly don't think he's worth two Netflix specials at this point. I think he blew up because of plastic surgery and TikTok, and he definitely has the MILF audience.
Oh,
corner.
for sure.
That's his thing.
But
I don't hate Matt Rife. I think he's got a lot of good material that he could tweak out. I think he's all right. I would love to feature for him. I would love to feature for Matt Rife. I think I would be the perfect demographic of a feature because one, we look exactly alike. Two, I'm a woman, so like I'm different in that aspect. Like I have a different thought process. And three, I could just really ease the crowd into being like, oh yeah, there's this person. Anybody could do comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would love to do that. And I don't think he's that bad of a comedian. I think he's just, I don't know, newer, but he sells tickets. You know, people watch his special. So why wouldn't Netflix give it to him if he can get people to watch his stuff?
I get
one of his specials are going to be a what Netflix is calling the first crowd work special,
right?
With Matt Rife. So, and that makes me nervous a little bit, just because now everyone's going to go to a comedy show thinking they can all be part of the show, but that's fine.
I think it's dangerous.
It is dangerous. It scares me because my comedy isn't set up for crowd work like that. I like the more old fashioned. Hey, I'm going to do my show. Sit back and buckle in, buckaroo.
Right, it has the potential to change the game in a major way because people take their influence from what they see on the internet now, and this is why crowd work is, because there are so many people just putting out reels of crowd work not to burn their material. Then audiences see that and they think that's what a comedy show is about. I'm going to go there and be part of the show. And I think once you start inviting people to be part of the show, you can't uninvite them. Especially after they've had a few.
I think it's important that
years.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it's been bad for 4 years because I've been producing shows for a while now, and you can definitely see the change. You almost got to retrain audiences now because when people come out, they don't understand. They're like, oh, should I just keep talking and shit like that? Then the crowd work clips have definitely made things horrible because now everyone thinks every show is like fucking crowd work.
Right.
Well, I think comedy is just evolving. Like back when Lenny Bruce started comedy, no one was able to use curse words or talk about like topical things that are going on. Like we weren't supposed to talk about World War II, and then Lenny Bruce came into the scene and he got banned from clubs because he was talking about that. So I think it's just comedy is just evolving, and then we as performers and comedians have to evolve with it. And because of the internet, because of 30-second videos and stuff like that, people's attention spans are so much shorter. So we just have to learn to be able to keep their attention. And some of that's going to have to be crowd work. Some of that's going to have to be like, I need a joke to be able to shut these people down when they're talking because they won't shut the fuck up while I'm up here. Right. I mean, it's just, you got to be able to learn to do that. And that's hard for people who've been in the game for a while and haven't had to deal with that until recently, and for newer comedians trying to learn how to evolve and be able to do that.
There's a fine line between working the crowd and inviting people to heckle you. And I think a lot of people, once they cross that line and people do start heckling them, don't have the chops that they've built up over years and years of that going on to be able to deal with it. Sam Talent is fucking one of the best I've ever seen at that. Just to be able to and engage with the audience, but nobody ever bothers to heckle him because they know he's the Babe Ruth of SWAT. When if they try to heckle him, they're gonna get shut down and look stupid. So don't even attempt it. You brought up Lenny Bruce.
I've never been heckled at a show in 10 years.
Well, you only do one show a year.
Well, it doesn't
10
matter.
shows you're talking about.
Even still, the sheer fact that even if I did a half a show a year, I've never been
That would be 5 shows. All right. You brought up Lenny Bruce. Have you ever seen
I didn't
Lenny
bring up
Bruce?
Lenny Bruce. I never
No, she
mentioned
brought up
Lenny Bruce.
I've listened to some clips. I haven't like watched him or anything like that. It was just I've just listened to some stuff that he said, and I thought he was fucking brilliant.
No, it's hard to find the brilliant stuff because people. He's like legendary and mythical and all this stuff, but all that remains of him is like in video form anyway. It's like his worst stuff because he was not a very television friendly guy. So if you see him on Steve Allen or these clips of him on Steve Allen or Ed Sullivan, it is just the weirdest kind of thing because he's trying to put on like a dinner hour lounge set where he's doing stuff with music in the background. Like, this is not the Lenny Bruce I've heard about. And where do you go to find the real Lenny Bruce? And a lot of the stuff was after, because you say, let me back up a little bit here. It wasn't that you couldn't say fuck or you couldn't curse on stage. It's that he talked about your vagina most of his act. That was his,
right.
And it got to where people never heard of that stuff before. That's what he got arrested for. But then after that, he got arrested several times. All he wanted to talk about, it wasn't funny anymore. He was talking about his lawsuits and arrests and his court cases online and reading court papers on stage. Yeah. And that's what his downfall was. And I think that's why he ended up dying young, is because he drove himself crazy with his obsession about not wanting to go to jail. But it's hard to find the good Lenny Bruce stuff. Is where. And so, where have you heard it? Do you got albums, or I mean, where
I've just looked for it on YouTube. I didn't have like video. I just listened to audio clips. I mean, and it wasn't like the best audio, but I remember hearing him talk about vaginas and stuff like that, and I'd be like, oh wow, this is really good. And then just like the fact that it was so dirty so early on was pretty awesome. You know.
Because Red Fox was around in the same time that Lenny Bruce was, and Red Fox was not clean at all.
No,
Tom's Mabley wasn't either. I mean,
no, she was great though. She was great.
You guys know of the good Lenny Bruce? You got the good stuff, the top shelf Lenny Bruce stuff. You guys?
Who, me?
No,
I'm asking them. No.
I've seen some of his stuff, and I think you had to be there for it. I don't know. It's a snapshot in time, honestly. For what I see, it's like just like certain music. It's like for the time period, it was good. He was pushing boundaries, but is the material really that great? Yeah.
Mike says, wasn't alcohol and drugs Lenny Bruce's downfall? A huge part of it, absolutely. But I think if you're going to blame alcohol and drugs, I think every comedian would be.
Absolutely.
I should say. Now, I mean, I know GD has never partaken in his life, but other than that,
not while performing.
He indulges in the physical side of life more than the chemical side.
And if we're being honest, I mean, you can't even recall what he does comedy.
That's true. I don't know.
It's borderline pornographic, but it's entertaining to say the least.
Right.
As the former ambassador to happiness and joy, Willie would have said, whatever title you gave Steven.
Willie who? Who's this Willie guy?
I'm saying that guy. I as he puts it, I don't know anything about comedy.
I don't know anything about Willie.
Well,
I do know something about him. I do know something about him. He's cordless. We have a cordless Willie.
I
wonder if he had the same
battery operated.
I wonder if he had the same effect when his mother detached that umbilical cord. If he just like died and fell, as soon as they cut the umbilical cord, he's like, "I'm done. I don't know what to do now. I'll wander airports. I'll wander incubators the rest of my life."
Mike says you should try a mushroom on stage. Maybe you could get a laugh. I don't want to turn this
Why
into.
would I break my streak now, Michael?
I don't want to turn this into a Let's Bully GD episode.
You can't bully me. I don't
that will be Monday before the eclipse. We'll prime for that.
I'll be the last black guy standing.
Black guy standing.
Got me beat.
Yes.
Kay, are you big on sex toys? Do you like sex toys?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. Yeah, I admire them. I look at them online and stuff. Yeah, big fan.
Have you ever purchased from Tracy's dog? Tracy's dog.
Tracy's dog?
Tracy's dog.
No, I can't say that I've used a sex toy on Tracy's dog.
Tracy's dog guy. Tracy's dog. He's kind of close to the guy in the intro of the show. Coffee with the dog. I mean, people say dog with a weird accent, but yeah.
Dog.
Yeah, because I want to play a commercial right now for Tracy's dog. This is the Turbo. It's forced ejaculation technology. I'm just we'll talk
exactly
it's a real ad. Hold on.
Just don't push that red button too soon. Now watch, wait for it. When you push that button, you get a little wet. Now that. Come here, Tracy's dog. Go to TracyDog.com. Link is in the description. I'll go to minddogtv.com and click on the Tracy's dog banner, and now
the retreating jizz reservoir around the button, that's a little much for me, but the rest of that looks like something Tony Stark made, and I'm here for it.
I said they missed their calling. They should have just named it the R2 Deep Throat or something like that, because it looks like a cousin.
That's creative marketing, I have to say.
Yeah, there we go.
Branding or product.
You could double it with the sex toy remover and get a package deal.
Yeah. I'm really tripped up about the forced ejaculation part of it. Like, I'm really working on trying to grasp that, because like, no matter what, like sleep, wake, at work, no matter what, it's going to definitely get you going, get you ejaculating, which is great. You never know when you're at a funeral and you just got to ejaculate, that's that.
True.
Never really happened at a funeral ever. But
you've never had sex at a funeral? Wait. Am I the only one who's had sex at a funeral?
No.
Yeah.
What? No. Okay. All right. Thank you. So sometimes you just need to have sex for one at a funeral. It happens. We all have been there. Yeah.
I've never done it.
Yeah, I like sex at a funeral because the bodies don't move.
Oh, listen, I worked in mythology, and this is a really touchy subject, a touchy-feely subject, because there was a guy who he had this thing about bringing young girls into the morgue and having sex with them in the body drawers, and I actually was involved in getting him fired from there because it creeped me out. But the whole death and sex thing, I don't know, they don't mix in my world. But the other part of that was we had a potential sponsor I never followed up with. I should follow up, which has a spray that delays your ejaculation. And I thought, what if we combine the two? Like, it's like you put yourself in a coma. You use this spray to delay your ejaculation, but then you use that forced ejaculation tool. You could probably end up putting yourself into a coma.
Or you're gonna rip a hole in the space-time continuum.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's come out somewhere. It'll just come out through your nose or mouth.
I have a question for you guys, because I'm always interested about male genitalia.
I don't have I'll get mine from
No, wait. I don't need to look at it. I've seen plenty.
Okay.
My wife has mine in the drawer. I would get it for you, but
Yeah. Oh, thank you. But like when you guys take Viagra, have any of you taken Viagra?
I have.
And or okay,
Yeah.
does it? Do you're erect and it helps you get erect and all that, but do you also come quicker on Viagra or does it delay it?
No, it delays it.
It delays it.
Well, it doesn't necessarily delay it on purpose, but it gets so not numb, but it somehow it doesn't feel the same. It's just like you're carrying an extra, like all of a sudden you were used to swinging a 29-inch bat, and all of a sudden you got a 36-inch bat, and it's like, wait a minute, this is heavier than I'm used to. Who switched my bat? It's that kind of thing. So, but it also it's like, wow, I'm not used to it. When did I turn into John Holmes? That's what I want to know. How did it get so big?
There was no difference for me, except for the fact that I got nauseous. So I
That's why
you're not
I
supposed to. Never mind.
They make me feel like I'm having a heart attack afterwards. After I get all this like severe heartburn and pressure up here.
No,
and
I mean mine was vomiting. Mine was like I wanted to vomit, and
Yeah.
my wife couldn't
like
tell the difference which face I was making. If I was making the I'm almost there face, or if I'm like the face.
I have used Cialis, and it's a different experience. But
Okay.
Cialis is I don't. Neither one of these are sponsored. I shouldn't really say one is better than the other.
We need to go get Blue Chew to sponsor the show.
Blue Chew.
Blue Chew.
Are you on that?
It's a combo. It's like a combo drug or something.
They're advertising it for young guys who have
Right.
ED. But yeah, it's a chewable thing. You just pop it and then you're ready to bone. It's supposed to be like quick acting.
Their mascot's that little dog from the show Blue Clues. They just paid him, and so he just calls himself Blue Chews now. And he goes, it's really funny because he acts like a little puppy who chews on everything, and then he gets the pill, he chews on that, and then he becomes like a Great Dane. It's really
the first thing.
commercial.
The first thing you're going to need is a jar of peanut butter.
Yeah. Well, you've seen the commercial too, Ron. Yeah, that's the one.
If I could just mention this, and we'll get back to the conversation. I think we scared Hashandra away. She came in. She was in the green room. She heard what we were talking about, and she said,
"I was getting ready to reach out to her and ask her to hang in there. That we see her. We see you."
I think she was worried that we were going to.
Once she heard the word ejaculation, she's like, "Oh, trauma again."
That's
oh man!
Like, oh man! I just realized I left the stove on.
The worst part of the Viagra is taking it and then nothing happens.
Does that happen?
With the expectation. No. Yeah, I've taken it and then nothing happens. It's like, and you're waiting there, like, what's going on? That doesn't happen with Cialis. Cialis, that's why it's a different experience. You could take it, and anytime you want to engage, if you want to, it's ready for you. But Viagra, you're supposed to take 15 minutes before. So if you take it too soon before, then when it's time, it's like you're thinking, it's just like, come on, man. I thought, where's the superstar? Where's Babe Ruth when I need him? That's
when you stall for time. You're like,
man,
just what you say. So, honey, what do you think we should be putting in the garden right now?
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Think of a 15-minute conversation.
When's your mother coming to visit? You look, you just find more things to talk about until it goes like, okay, I'm ready. Shut up.
Now, I've never. This is. I wonder if you like mixed them. Like if you took a Viagra and like. It time passes and then you want to take a Cialis after that or double down on it. I don't know what would happen.
That sounds like doing like cocaine and Molly together. That just doesn't sound like a great time. That sounds like a heart attack waiting to happen.
Might end up like a raging boner and prolapse all at the same time. It's just everything's just going crazy. Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Your belly button, which was an innie, will become an outie along with your boner. That would be nuts.
You mentioned some drugs there. Have you used the Molly?
Yeah, I've done Molly. I've done MDMA and all that.
Not me.
No.
You know what? I'm too old for that. My drug days were over 100 years ago. And when, pills were the big thing when I was a kid. You would steal pills from grandma.
Right now, Matt's
doing
big
all that.
recreational drug is Crestor.
Right. But, have you done the hallucinogens? Have you done mushrooms? Have you done DMT?
Yes, I've done DMT.
You
Yes.
have?
Yeah, I got really scared. I didn't like do the thing that everybody does where
Right.
they like go into
Okay,
an
well, I'm sorry.
interdimension.
I don't know what DMT is. I don't know what the thing is everybody does because I'm not everybody. I don't do it. So you're
He's
gonna have to
old
dumb
too.
it down.
He's
Dumb
older than me,
it
even
down
though
for the
he's younger
black
than me.
guy. Dumb it down for the black guy.
So DMT, what they say is you go into a different dimension and then you experience a whole different world that isn't the world that you're living in. And this is what they say. I couldn't do it. Like I took one puff and I like freaked out. I was like, I gotta stay awake. Stuff was a little like hazy and moving around and whatnot, but I couldn't like.
Yeah, I think Ron
go
had the
into
same experience. Like he didn't do enough to get the elves to come and yell at you and mock you.
Yeah,
and
it was
paint
just
you.
kind of like I just felt like I was really high, and it was nothing like I was like, oh my god, this is so great. It's like, it's interesting, but that was about it.
I think if you do it right, it's basically you're not really awake. You kind of go into a kind of not coma, but trance or whatever kind of like you're not really awake for that 15 minutes. And you know what? As somebody who experimented deeply during the hippie years with LSD and mescaline and every other kind of mushroom or any kind of hallucinogen, I hated the long-term commitment that it took. But DMT sounds fascinating.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like doing acid, that's a 10-hour thing, which is like I just worked 10 hours. You know what I mean?
20.
I just had an 8-hour job. 20? Yeah. Oh god.
Well, in the good, back in the days when it was real, I don't know if I shouldn't say that it's not real now. I don't know, but when it was pure, like Timothy Leary, blotter acid or window pane or all that stuff, it was a 20-hour experience. You knew the minute you put it in your mouth, you were on vacation. Don't be around any, And first time I did it, I was 11 years old.
Holy shit.
And we had a woman on what's her name? Hollingshead is her last name. Can't remember her first name now. But her father was one of the Timothy Leary party, and he left 9 hits of sugar cube LSD on the table, and she was 7 years old. She ate all 9 of them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I think she was on like a 2-week trip. But yeah, at 11 years old, I took it on New Year's Eve and I had to go to a party with my mother and father, all old people, all people older than I am now. And they were, I was like, they were watching the Osmond Brothers on Lawrence Welk and on television and trying to have conversations with me. And like, the guy's turning into a frog, and like I forgot how to talk. And like, I'm surprised they didn't end up institutionalized, or nobody figured out. They probably just figured out, the Napo kid's retarded.
That's usually a good go-to. Like, he's probably just slow. It's okay.
Wrong. You never proved them wrong since.
Nah, that's true. They died thinking I was that. You know what? They're not wrong. But yes, but Molly, I've never done. I've heard, that's not a hallucinogen, right? Or is it?
Not really. It's a lot like ecstasy, where you just like you're like touchy feely.
They were one and the same, no?
I don't think it's the same chemical makeup. I don't really remember. But yeah, we were like just lights were brighter and the music was cooler, and I loved everyone I was around and stuff like that.
That just sounds like you wash your clothes in Tide while you're listening to like a very good high, stereo system.
I was naked most of the time. Yeah, like 50% of the time I was naked, but only because I'm sweating. You know what I mean? I would just be just pure sweat. My jaw's all crazy, and then just loved everyone I was around. And
I was like that in the orgy, and I didn't take any drugs. I was naked and sweaty, and I loved everybody. And there was no drugs involved. It was just an orgy.
Oh man!
Back in the 90s, we ran a club, and when nights weren't doing so well, we had this young producer who would produce raves, and everybody was on ecstasy. But yeah, I mean, basically that's when like techno was just getting started, and these kids would just be trancing out and ripping their clothes off, and we'd have like 400 people naked and sweaty and just dancing and having a good time on it. But I never. By that time, I think I was not touching drugs anymore. I think I had my time of experimentation and all that stuff. But it always was fascinating. Like, look at these kids, man. So I always thought they were tripping. I thought they were like on LSD or something, because it's part of like the shoegaze stuff emerged during that, like where people just like they're not incoherently high. I don't know if that
Right.
yeah. Ever do it before you ever do it while performing? Ever get high while performing at all?
I don't like. I would smoke weed, or I used to smoke weed, and so I would smoke weed while performing on occasion. But I'm not a big fan. I just like being present or drunk when I'm performing. But that really,
you drink before you go on stage?
I'll have like I won't drink more than like 2 drinks typically. But I'll have like 1 or 2 just so I can handle, like if I have a heckler, I can handle them and stuff like that.
That could be a career ender. Just keep
drinking.
Well, it was for me for
Okay.
radio when I was on AM radio, AM talk radio. I'm not a big drinker, and I haven't been a big drinker since my 20s. But what got me kicked off radio was I went to a wedding and got a little hammered. Somebody was subbing for me at the radio station until I got there, and then I got there and he couldn't take a phone call and he was panicking, so I took over, and I was dropping F-bombs and all sorts of stuff, and it ended up getting blacklisted.
Oh, man.
Not good for your career to be drunk and performing. That's all I'll say about that. Do you have now? I have in the description your Facebook page. Do you have a website, or is that the place we're sending people to your Facebook page?
Yeah, just Facebook and Instagram right now. I don't really have a web page at this moment. Just not ready to set that all up just yet, to be honest.
How's your performing schedule looking? Do you have stuff coming up that you want to let people know about?
Yeah, we've got me and Steve both have Mommy, Mary, and Joseph Festival coming up.
What's that?
Mommy, Mary, and Joseph, the festival in Fort Wayne. That's coming up. We got
the name of all the rivers that connect here.
Yeah. Yep. We have I think I'm performing 418, 419, and 420. You can look them up online, mommymaryandjoseph.com.
420, you expect a lot of weed smoking going on that day?
Oh, I'm sure, absolutely. I won't be, but I'm sure it'll smell like pot everywhere I'm at.
Is it legal in Indiana now?
Nope.
Oh.
Everywhere else, it smells like it often. And then like Fort Wayne cops, I can't say this for myself, but my son's dad's been pulled over in mid vape smoking, like puffed it out at the cop's face, and then didn't get arrested, didn't get a ticket, nothing. So,
but that's white privilege. That's not.
He is white. That is true.
I was gonna say if he's white.
See, I just assumed that. If you said did he hold him off, beat him with a stick, I'd just say okay, so that's a black guy. But because when I drive through Indiana, I'm virtually
everything's got to be about race with you all the time.
Yeah, not everything.
24/7 race
about
channel.
Color and ethnicity. Not everything's about race.
But bait rate
about color and ethnicity.
Anyway, so yeah, 418 now. 419 is Hitler's birthday. You don't expect a lot of skinhead. Do you have that contingent in Indiana? Indiana's.
The only skinhead I know is Steve. That's the only one.
That's true.
Let's set the record straight here, Steve. You're not a Nazi skinhead. You're just a guy who shaves his head. Yes.
I am a descendant of one, but I am not an active one. No, sir.
Okay.
And he just wear Doc Marten boots without having to wear them. That's it. That's the only thing about him that looks really skinheady. It's just the boots with the red laces. I don't even know how he can tie his shoes, but
yeah. I'm just putting this out there. Okay, you do not have a webpage. Steve Steven just finished making the best webpage I've never seen. I haven't looked at it yet, but I hear from him that it's like the best ever. He could just give you like a page with like one of those little hash marks so that you can have some place to park your stuff while you're waiting, because
if you write, let me interrupt GD, because I always like to interrupt him rather than just hit his mute on his thing, like most people want me to do. By the way, we get letters every day. Please shut him up. But
and I asked my wife not to send those letters. She could just walk over here and talk to me. But
if you want to, and this could be good practice for you if you're so inclined, if you want to write any bits for this show or any content for this show, well, we will be happy to give you a webpage on minddogtv.com, a dedicated page to your comedy and all that kind of stuff. So just put
that's very kind.
Thank
when
you.
was that offer for me when I started?
It was coming today. I was going to talk to you after we do the next guest and all. I met with an accountant yesterday. It was a really weird experience, but the business stuff. There's a lot of business stuff going on.
40, 50, 60 years, and now you've known her for like 20 seconds.
Well, actually, we've been thinking about getting rid of you. So
Is this my last day again?
Yeah, this is your last day again. This is actually your last moment. So, GD, we'll say goodbye to GD and thank him for his participation on the show. Kay, it's been great to get to know you. Please do come back sometime. And I'm serious. If you're so inclined to write anything, we need all the funny help we can get here, because you can tell by this morning's show, it's just not a very good show.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for being here and just meeting everybody. Seeing Steve this early in the morning was a little rough, but other than that, I really appreciate being on the show. So thanks so much.
That's why I do it in the morning, because I want to see people at their worst.
You got me. All
right. Well, thanks for being here, and do come back sometime. We appreciate you being here. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Facebook.com/people/kbanks. You don't need all those numbers that are behind there. I don't know why Facebook does that in those links. Anyway, our next guest is here now, but I want to play a commercial before we go. Now, TrueFire has those coupon deals in place for April. TrueFire is the best place to learn guitar and other musical instruments online. And they have special deals going on right now. If you follow our link that's on the description, and on minddogtv.com, they have yearly specials, discounts on the yearly plan and monthly plans as well. So there you go.
Over 2 million guitar players worldwide learn, practice, and play with TrueFire. Our learning tools and massive library of video lessons will ignite your technical skills, harmonic knowledge, rhythm playing, and soloing chops. TrueFire's educators are the best in the biz, from Grammy Award winners to world-renowned artists. You'll have access to an unparalleled faculty of over 300 top-notch blues, rock, jazz, country, fingerstyle, and acoustic guitar educators. Using our desktop and mobile apps, you'll work with TrueFire's multi-angle video lessons on any device, anytime, anywhere. Integrated learning tools such as video synced tab and notation, slow-mo, looping, practice jam tracks, and many more handy controls accelerate your learning experience. TrueFire style-specific learning paths guide you every step of the way. Use our assessment tools to find your starting point, then follow our lesson recommendations and track your progress as you work through your personalized TrueFire study plan. Progress faster with private one-on-one instruction, group lessons, multi-track video jams, live streams, song lessons, student forums, TrueFire's Riff magazine, premium jam tracks, and much, much more. With thousands of 5-star ratings and reviews from amateur and pro players alike, you'll find yourself in good company with the world's most comprehensive guitar learning platform. Grab your guitar and ignite your musicality. Sign up free for an all-access trial today.
You know, I blew that. Our scheduled sponsor was supposed to be in video, but I there's too many sponsored parts to play today. It's Friday. It's time to meet our next guest, and we got to clean it up here a little bit because you guys got really vulgar and dirty and drug oriented and all that stuff. And so I blame you, Stephen, for all that kind of body bad talk.
Just because I cannot stand up for myself does not mean you get to push me around like this. I won't stand for it.
I actually want to push you. I want to push you around. I feel like that would give me, like, I don't know, maybe extra perks for the. Oh, look at the guy who cares so much. He's pushing the guy.
Not just in the amusement parks, but in bars. I'm the best wingman. You push me around, they'll be like, "Oh my god, look how helpful he is!"
Right. That's what I want to be. I want to be that helpful guy. It seemed like I really care about people. Fool the hell out of people. Anyway, it's time to meet our next guest. Over the last 20 years, the voice of Hashandra has been heard by millions worldwide as co-owner of the Pink Group, a branding and marketing team, which we could use some definite help with that kind of stuff. Hashandra was able to self-publish her first book, Attached, in 2017, which focuses on the emotional trauma of she just popped out. I guess she didn't want to come on the show. We just lost her. She was in the green room.
Like her virginity.
Well, she's back. She's back now. Let's welcome in Hashandra to Coffee with Doug. Good morning.
Good morning.
We thought you heard the previous conversation. You said, I don't want to be part of that show. I'm out of here.
No, she was trying to fix her name. Her cap lock was on. She was trying to fix her name. Her cap lock was on, and she was trying to fix it.
Gotcha. Now you are into a whole. Are you, first of all, what is your main focus? You have a book out now, but you are in marketing. It seems like you're in legal services. You're all over the place with what you do. What is your main focus?
So my main focus is just to be a spark to help people. So I do that in different forms. Service is my main focus.
Gotcha. Now my way of helping people is to kind of push them around in wheelchairs. What do you mean by helping people? There's a book, Unattached. Now this is what, the final chapter, is that what it's called? I can't.
The final season.
Final season. It's like a television series. The final season. So what do you mean by helping people? I mean, in what way?
So I share my story through books, music, and events. I perform workshops or do workshops called Rambling Me workshops, helping people just to discover themselves. And just to bring some clarity, I am not an attorney. I do work with Georgia Legal Services, which is a nonprofit here in Georgia. And what we do is we offer free legal services to Georgians who are unable to basically afford an attorney or legal advice. So that's what that is about. That's another way that I help. With my nonprofit, the Manifest Deliverance Foundation, that is just another way of empowering women in our community. So it's just service everywhere, everywhere.
Now I'm interested in this because legal services for people who can't afford it, don't the courts do that and automatically without needing I don't know, some kind of organization to do that for them?
So this would be civil and not criminal.
Right. Oh, civil only. Okay, cool. So you would represent P. Diddy's son. No, he can afford it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, okay. Now, clear this up for me because, and now these guys think I'm being creepy when I say this.
You are.
I know you think I'm being creepy, and maybe I am. But I heard you say it the first time.
But you repeated yourself.
See, this is why he's off the show. It was nice having him on the show. I'll let him back in. He never learns his lesson with that, by the way. In your bio that I just read, it says focusing on the book released in 2017. Now that was the first prior version of the book, Attached. Now this is Unattached, but it says focusing on the emotional drama of losing virginity as a teenager. I think and most females lose their virginity between 13 and 19. It's like the most common age, right? Or is it not?
It is.
What makes it dramatic? Because I mean, unless it's like forced or against your will or anything, it's hard for me to understand that the drama of it.
Okay, well, I'll be more than happy to enlighten you on my views of that.
Please decreepify me.
It is basically talking about emotional trauma. You know, when we're in high school or when we're younger, everybody talks about sex in the sense of you don't want to get an STD, you don't want to get pregnant, you know, just the typical things. In my book, I go a little further and I talk about the emotional trauma, the part that nobody talks about, the part where you've lost your virginity to this person and then they break your heart. You know, so that's more of the sense what I'm talking about the emotional trauma of it. During that process, I actually was a teen. Well, I was a teen mom, but before I had my oldest daughter, I had a son. I miscarried my son, and he only lived for 2 hours. So I also lost a child by becoming a teen mom, by losing my virginity. I lost friends. I was kicked out of church. You know, I had to stop playing sports. But nobody tells you that when you're out there as a teenager having sex. So those are some of the emotional things that really altered my life as an adult, and some things I'm still unraveling within myself. That's why I wrote the book Unattached to Final Season, just showing my journey from being a teenager up until the age of 36.
That's interesting, and thank you for sharing that story. And I'm sorry for your loss. It had to be extremely difficult. But this is it's a problem. It's a chronic problem within the United States of America. Probably a worldwide problem too. Is teens getting pregnant now? Do you think Do you think that sex education in schools, a required sex education? I mean, I'm talking about like 2 years of mandatory sex education for young teens. You think that would help with that situation or not?
I think that it would, but I also think that the responsibility should be held on the parents or people in the child's life or the teen's life outside of school. It's everybody's responsibility, the community. So it's helpful, but I don't think that should be the only line that they know about sex or that they learn about sex. Because sex ed in school, when I was in high school, it didn't teach me too much. But there was one demonstration that happened that really like was drilled into my brain, and that was when they put the tape on your arm and it goes around the classroom and it's clean, and then by the end everybody's touched it. So that was something that really was indented into my brain during sex education during high school.
Right. It seems like, you know what, because it's been 100 years, but my sex education in school was really a couple of after school programs. That's all they had for me. But it doesn't seem like there's any like real, you know, it's not the how-to of how kids can figure out the how-tos and all that, all the mechanisms of sex by themselves. But what they really need to understand is the consequences and dealing with it and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think they ever really taught that. And I think you know, I agree with you that the parents should, but there are lots of times where let's face it, for a parent, it's like really difficult to talk to your kid about these kinds of things and the consequences that go with them. So I just
not for my mom. Give her a couple of drinks and she won't shut the fuck up.
Really?
Yes, mama.
She would not shut the fuck up. It's like, Mom, please, we don't need to know that. Mom, please, I'm 6. Mom, please, I'm 7. Stop it. Yeah.
Well, what it's not talking about the consequences of being a father too young and getting and what it really means and the responsibility that comes with it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about how to get laid. I'm talking about basically what it means to get a girl pregnant, and you know, for men especially, is what that means to you and what's expected to you, because we do have a chronic case of men who just want to spread their seed around but not really be a father, and that's a major problem. So yeah, I applaud you for sharing your story. It had to be really tough. Writing the first book had to be really I don't know, was it emotionally draining to write the book?
Now, I always tell people the first book, Attached, was for me. That was my release. I just wanted to get it out for myself. Originally, when I wrote it, I didn't have an intention on publishing it. And then I was like, you know what, I want to try to publish this, get this out to other people. So I wrote Attached for me. But Unattached to Final Season, I wrote that for the world. Just to applaud your mom with, being blunt. I think that more parents should be blunt. And then just to talk about being a young father, sometimes the expectations of a father are too high because we don't understand the capacity level of that person, which is why explaining the consequences is important. That's why I really love my workshop, and I'm trying my best just to globalize them, to put them in places like school systems, job corps centers, churches, community centers, to get the word out there about them so that it can be taught, the consequences and not just the physical consequences of having sex as a team.
Wow.
Can I ask you a question that doesn't relate to sex and rape and virginities and stuff like that? I just ask you, does it bother you when another person of color addresses you as my sister, hoping that you, like, by doing that, you'll give them a break? You know what I'm saying?
Does it bother me?
First.
It doesn't really bother me. It just depends on the intent of why they're calling me my sister.
Good. My sister. I was wanting to know about this the pink thing. You know you know what I'm saying? Because you say you help small businesses and startups, and I'm a small startup. So what can you do for me, my sister?
The Pink Group LLC is what he's referring to, right?
What can you do for me, my sister?
You gotta be a little careful with this thing.
Okay, so like I said, I've been listening to the show. So I am a niggas. That is I like how you define that. We are kings. That is actually what that word means. And we are able to do anything that you want us to do that refers to marketing and branding. The only thing that we don't do is print. We should send out for print or outsource for print. So the books that I published was published through the Pink Group. Shout out to my business partner, Angel Harmon. She is a beast in graphics. All of our graphics she do. I mess them up and then she tweaks and fix them. So we can do anything from publishing to building websites to media marketing. We'll actually be heading over to Provincetown, Massachusetts in May, where we do on-site media. We will come to your event, do videos, pictures, and have your media just popping while we're there on scene.
Have you been to Provincetown before?
I'm sorry?
Have you been to Provincetown before?
I have. We went last year.
Okay. Because it's like the San Francisco of the East Coast. It's very LGBTQ community, a large contingent of that up there. So it's just, does that matter to you? I mean,
Absolutely not. So I embrace open love. Whatever anybody wants to do, that's their business. My personal preference is you respect me, I respect you. I consider myself to be abrasexual, meaning I don't have a preference on who I date, but I do, it's just open for me. Well, my preference is to be with a Black man, but if I fall in love with someone else, then I just fall in love with someone else.
I think that's Steven's dream too, to be with a Black man. He was talking about that earlier today. Because what you earlier you mentioned church, and are you still a religious person?
I am not religious at all. I am a believer, but religion, I just take what I need from every religion and just apply it how it needs to be applied to me.
I think I pretty much fall into that category myself. I don't know.
I just choose not to live and not be a dick. So,
what are you talking about?
My philosophy.
But you're not succeeding at that, so try harder. No.
I know, man, I know. It's an improvement year, okay? It's an improvement year for me, and we'll get there.
In your bio, it says certified life coach. Who certifies life coach, and how do I get certified? What kind of test do I have to pass to qualify as a life coach?
So you go through a class and you have to answer a lot of questions. I can send you or email you over the certified life coach school that I went to, but you just basically go at it at your own pace. It wasn't a hard course, but the main thing that I learned was to listen to the client and not instruct them, but guide them. That was the only thing I really got out of it, but that's what I do anyway. I just wanted the title so that people could take me serious in certain circles.
Yeah, I get it. Now, with this book, this is the second book. So you've self-published, right? Both books?
Yes.
Because a big part of for authors, they don't get into it to become publishing people. They get into it because they're authors and they like to write. But you find out pretty quickly that part of it is not the game. The game is really learning about the publishing business. Has that is that enjoyable for you, or did you just like writing the book and then the rest of it is like a pain in the ass work?
So for me, the ultimate goal of my business is to, as far as the book, it's attached to the workshops. So I would like to, if there's anybody who's out there listening that works for the government, I would like to use government funding to do my workshops for free, and the book is attached to the workshop. So you can go through the book, you go through the journey, and while you're going through the book, you're writing your own journey. So you're really writing your own book. So that's kind of the way that I approach the book. I do enjoy writing, but I enjoy music a lot more. And even though I am a writer and an author, I do not like to read unless I absolutely need to. If I'm not reading for information, leisure reading is not in me. My mom leisure reads, my sister, my girls. I'm the only person who needs to turn on some music to unwind in my family.
I think the world is becoming less tolerant of long form reading. And that sounds like an old. In my day, we used to read books. But are there audiobooks of your books?
Speaking of reading, are there audiobooks?
In the making. So there's a soundtrack to the book, and the way that I have it set up, the goal is to have it out in 2026. I want to have the audiobook with the music ingrained in it, just a whole flow where I'm telling the story. I'm going to actually see if some of the people who are in my story will be willing to actually do the project with me. So I really want to make it a group project, let them tell their story while I tell my story as well. So it's a whole production.
All right, because I did notice that the music is kind of tied into the book, and that's for me. I fell into that trap of like, I don't know if it's a trap, but when I wrote a movie, I had to write the music for the movie, and writing the screenplay and then produce the whole thing. It just feels like it becomes my life becomes the project, and it's like every extension of me, everything I do ends up being part of that. Does the music come secondary to you, or did you write the book and then say, I need some music for this, I'll do it myself?
Well, with me, with the project, it was already formed in my mind from the beginning. Like, it wasn't add-ons. Once I got to the part in life where I was just like, you know what, I don't have to focus in on one thing. Everybody says you need to focus in on one thing. You're a master of nothing. You need to focus in. I'm like, no, I don't. I'm comfortable with doing music, and I'm comfortable with, working for myself. I'm comfortable with being a writer. I don't have to be one thing. Your standards are not my standards, and I need you to be okay with that. So for me, I've been building a plan for the last 7 years, and this has been a part of my plan.
Yeah. For people who may not have seen, while you folks were talking a few minutes ago, I was looking around kind of scared. We just had an earthquake here. And nothing fell off, but the entire house was shaking. My wife just texted me, did you feel the earthquake? My stepdaughter just texted, did you feel the earthquake? Apparently it's been on the news. So earthquake live, and you guys couldn't even tell it was happening. But I was in panic mode for a few seconds there while GD was talking to you, like, what's going on?
And I thought you were in panic mode because I was talking. And
that often happens. Well, I hope we don't get I hope that wasn't like a precursor to a bigger one. Maybe it's all because of the solar eclipse that's about to end the world.
Everybody knows solar eclipses cause cancer and
earthquakes, especially when they don't happen for 3 days.
Basic Science 101 back in high school.
Right.
And portals.
So what do you try to bring it back to normal here? What instrument are you? A piano player or a guitar player, or are you a musician?
None of the above. I used to play the clarinet and the bass clarinet and auxiliaries in high school, but I cannot play a piano. I cannot play a guitar. My voice is my instrument.
So you write music just from the vocal perspective, and then other musicians kind of figure out the harmonic arrangements behind a cappella track?
Yes.
Now, do you have perfect pitch? Because if you're a little off, it gives them, you know what I'm saying? If you're trying to hum, let's say an A, but you're a little flat, they may think you're trying to hum something else.
Well, they have to find the note. That's what I tell them, because I've already recorded, and it's your job to be a musician. That's kind of my viewpoint on it. You don't have
That-
to flow with me because this is my music, and if you want to be a part of it, you just got to find a note.
No, but what I'm saying is because I've done that where someone hummed the song. Actually, they sang the song that they wanted me to write the music to, and some of the stuff they did wasn't like right on pitch. So if so they were like their note was actually between notes on my piano or between notes on my guitar. And so that's why I was asking if you had perfect pitch, because if you don't have perfect pitch, that could be
for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing like TD, that could be very challenging.
That's true. That's true, because
for a real musician, it's not really an issue. He's just trying to make a house on fire where there's really not even a spark.
I'm just asking a question, man. What the hell is wrong with you?
I don't know if I have perfect pitch. I can say that I have a unique voice. My voice is very unique. Kind of like Lauryn Hill with
have imperfect pitch.
Shania Twain with it's a little country bluesy type vibe that I have. I like kickbacks and soul music. So usually I just record just my vocals at the studio, and if I want music behind it, then I'll hand it off and let them see what they can do with it. Hopefully that answers your question.
I love your speaking voice. I think it's I love your speaking voice. I don't know if that's
Thank you very much. I've been doing it since 1980. So.
Oh well, I think the mustache acts like a filter.
All right. Now, if I can segue here, do you also have a hair braiding business?
I do. Yes, I have been braiding hair since I was 14 years old, and I'm 38 right now. I'll be 39 in August. So yeah, hair braiding has been my bread and butter for a while. It has been just, a way for me to connect with women and to make individuals just feel really good about themselves.
Do you do it for men?
I'm sorry.
Do you do it for men? Hair braiding for men? Because GD pays, I think, $900 a month for these hair braiding that he has. Do you think he's overpaying?
First of all, he's so racist. These are not braids; these are dreads.
Oh,
okay. The only part of my hair that's like up here, this gets braided into and then tied back here.
All right. Educate me on the difference between a braid and a dread. Either one of you can.
I'll let the young lady, the young lady in her 30s, tell you.
So with a braid, you're actually taking 3 strands of hair and you're pretty much, crossing over all the way to the end. And there's different forms of braids. You have your box braids, you have your cornrows, there's different forms. And so that's the great thing about ethnicity. We are going to create. We are creative people. And then with the locks, it is hair that can either be intertwined with a tool, or you can actually twist it and make it stay. So there's different forms. I prefer to call dreads locks. That's just my preference, but I just think they're beautiful styles. I have my braids and twists going on now, so I really embrace just like my culture and my natural beauty when it comes to hair.
Yeah. I just want to mention I chose locks because when I was in 2005 or so, I was bored with having short hair. And I just wanted to have hair I could style. And so I started letting my hair grow. And after a year of letting it grow, my mother looked at me and she says, "Boy, what are you going to do with that hair? You're just letting it grow." I said, "I don't know what I'm going to do with it, Mom." I said, "I'm either going to braid it or do locks. I just want to be able to style it." And my mother goes, "Well, for God's sake, do braids, because people with locks are dirty." And so then she says they don't have jobs, they don't bathe, and she just goes on and on about people with locks. And so that's why I picked locks, so that my mother would at least know one person with locks who bathed and had a job and didn't smoke weed all the time. Mm-hmm. And that still didn't change my mother's opinion. After that, my mother says, "That's my son. He's lost his job. He stopped bathing and he just gets high all the time." She never changed her opinion. She just changed her biography of me.
All right. Now, which would be better on me, dreadlocks or braids? That's what I want to know. What?
I think some braids. I think you could really do braids. They would look really good.
Yeah, with both of these hairs. I need. Don't you need 3? Because I only have 2.
Well, there is a way that you can put a unit on and you can attach braids to it. There is a numerous number of
He could
ways.
wear a merkin, right? He could wear merkin on his head.
Yeah, but that you don't know what that is? A merkin? We don't need to know what that is.
You do need to know what that is.
Well, you tell her that. I'm not going there.
Okay, a merkin is a toupee for the vagina.
That's what it is. That's what it is. I think it's mostly Jewish women who do it.
And cancer survivors.
Oh,
interesting.
So they're saying it was either 4.8 magnitude. A couple of people saying 4.8, but then we got one that says it's 1.7. I don't know who to believe.
I saw the report. I was on Twitter actually because once you said something, and the reports are saying anything from 3.5 to 5.5.
I guess it depends on where you are with the epicenter. But this is also New York, and there's inflation as well.
NBC said 4.5.
Yeah, Governor
CNN
Hochul
said 5.8.
So that's from the governor's office.
Well, that's the official one.
It was pretty. I can't wait to look back at the tape to see how if you could see the room jiggling. I don't know, but
I was just thinking the same thing because I wasn't paying attention to you at the time. So
I saw the jiggling, but I thought you just weren't wearing a bra.
This is why I keep my camera up here because GD can't keep his eyes where they need to be.
Right. So now the book is how long? When did the book come out? This current book
in 2002.
Okay. Now the other book is not for sale anymore. You stopped. You took the other book off the market. Is that what happened? The first book. Why?
So the reason that I took Attached out, well, two reasons that I took it out. One, I wanted to be a collectible item. So whoever bought it,
they're going to have it,
and no one else is going to be able to purchase that book. And also, Attached is inside of Unattached, the final season.
Oh, okay. That wouldn't be an NFT. NFT because the end part would be not.
Hey.
Not non. I know. Relax.
Okay.
It's just a fungible tangible, not a non-fungible.
Yeah, it's definitely tangible. Yeah.
It's fungible too, right?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
To me, it sounds like fungus, and that's where it lost interest. So
I'm gonna look up fungible. What does fungible mean?
You can actually sell it for something else,
right? So now all these things that you're into, how do you? I mean, what ties them all together is under one roof here? It seems like you're spread in so many different directions. Your brand as Hashandra, what is your brand about?
So the name of my business is called Don't Overthink Me LLC.
Don't overthink me.
So it's .me, which means don't overthink. And I guess my little tagline would be, don't overthink yourself out of being yourself, just be. So with everything that I do, like I said, it's just service and allowing people or showing people in some cases just how to be their unique selves, just being, not taking life too serious, but also having a plan, developing yourself, allowing yourself to become, those type things. And I think in most cases, when it comes to the workshops, when it comes to the one-on-one consulting with people, it's just that they kind of need someone's permission to be themselves, and that bothers me. And a lot of that goes towards our culture and our society of what's expected of us. But if we would put more focus towards what we want for ourselves and how we see ourselves versus how the world sees us, we'll be better people for ourselves, for our families, for our communities, and for our world. So I just like to be free. I like to be me. I like to be an example of my own work. I utilize my own tools daily when talking to myself, listening to myself, and gracing myself. So that's what my brand is all about.
Very cool. You mentioned a couple of things in there. Having a plan is an important one. Now, if we're heard in all the airports across America, I think if there's somebody sleeping in the corner of an airport right now, on vacation in an airport right now, that plan part is the most important part, because that's a reference that you probably don't understand. One of the guys who's a regular on the show has been missing since he took a couple of days off in an airport. We haven't heard from him. But
that look on your face, Hashandra, that's priceless.
Like an earthquake was happening. we see a lot of people. First of all, this idea of getting into mantras and self-help memes and all this kind of stuff, and just articulating cliches, and you just dream it and you can do it, and all those kind of things. Nothing without a plan, and a plan first, and then action and follow through. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the other thing with making a plan with the people that I work with is just not being overbearing or what I call a manipulative life coach. Because some people will have a plan, or they'll say you have to do it this way. Everything that I do is customized. It's customized to fit that person, their personality, their environment. Going into that background a little bit, with also being clear. I'm not a therapist. If we need to find you a therapist, I can help you. But therapy is not for me, because I'm not going to sit here and whine. My job is to find your strengths, and we build there while also unraveling you to become yourself.
Right.
Well, if they need a therapist, they could just become a comedian.
Yeah. I thought that's what, if you need a therapist, right?
Yeah, if you need a therapist, become a comedian, then the audience becomes your therapist.
Gotcha.
At least in the beginning, for rookies, not for me.
Do you work with creatives? Because it seems like creatives definitely need help with branding. But to your point earlier, the idea of people are in it for me. A lot of people, like GG just said, if you're a comedian, if you need a therapist, become a comedian. People are looking to satisfy themselves rather than especially a lot of people in the arts, looking for what they can get out of it rather than what value they're going to add to the world. And I think if those two different mindsets, if I'm looking to what can I get out of it, what's in it for me, is not necessarily a mindset that's going to propel you towards success. If you're thinking about what can I add to the world, what is my special gift bringing to the world, I think that's a much healthier way and a much more productive way to get closer to what really is in it for you. But first, you have to start from that place of what am I bringing to the world? Do you agree with that?
I do agree. I think that when you perform service to the world and you're giving to the world, in turn, you're going to give to yourself. And I always tell people there's a healthy balance of being selfish. Like for me, I'll go in my room and I'll tell my children, I'll tell my friends, like right now I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. Today actually starts my 10-day vacation. I have let all my clients know, do not bother me. Leave me alone. Because, when I'm working, I tell my children, let me work. So now that I'm with my children, I tell my clients, let me be a mom. So it's just having that balance in being selfish for yourself and giving to the world. And then it's that part of finding that balance. And I always let myself know you can be great every day, but you're not going to be great at every title that you have every day. And I'm okay with that.
I would like to be great at one thing one day ever. We'll see if that ever happens. But we do appreciate you being on the program this morning and getting to know you a little bit. And good luck with the book. If there's anything I can do to help you promote it or anything like that, GD can. You should get in touch with GD because his wife works for the government. She can help you get that funding.
Yeah, she works for the department. She works for the Department of Health. So yeah.
Well, mental health is part of it, right? And yeah, so.
But believe me, if they handled mental health, she wouldn't be married to me.
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand. Well, thank you for being part of the program, Chandra, and good luck with all you do. Don't overthink .me is where people are going to find out everything about you, and there's a lot to find out.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great day. Bye for now. Enjoy your vacation. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Let's come back to this, and let me take the book out of here. Earthquakes, man. Earthquakes are the thing.
Earthquake is I guess that's the new Jello, the new what's it? The new.
Do you have any takeaways from that conversation? Anything? Did it do?
Actually, yeah, I did. I actually, but it's personal. I don't know if I could. I've been working on a book, and I was thinking, my problem was of my approach, and I had too much information, and just listening to her. I just it dawned on me that I need to dial back some of the stuff that doesn't move move the story I'm trying to tell along.
What story are you trying to tell?
Oh, basically my mom was raped in 1957, and I was born in 1959. I was the first child, the second child born after her rape. My brother was conceived in rape, and she didn't keep him. She just gave him up. And I was the first child born after the rape that she raised. But that had a different impact because the way she raised me, because she was raped, was totally different than the way she raised my siblings that were born before the rape.
Wow. This is not a comedy book.
Oh, it is. Actually, it is. It is.
Okay.
Holy shit.
All right.
Actually, it is. And that was the problem people are having because a lot of my material, my material is affected by the way I was raised and my outlook on life. My outlook on life was affected by the way my mother raised me. And my mother raised me because of the experience she had with being raped. And so there is a through line. And I've actually gotten very good at telling it on stage, but I just started getting good at telling it on stage. I've been wanting to do it. I've been wanting to tell it on stage since I started in 2014. And I'm just finding the actual words to do it so that people don't freak out when I start talking about my mother being raped.
Have you confronted the guy who raped your mother?
Ron and I have been friends ever since.
That's why I put him up there. I thought maybe if there's anything you want to say. Welcome to Maury Povich.
That's how Ron and I have become good friends.
You guys look a lot alike, actually.
Actually,
I'll let you mention it.
Wow. You want to do critical joke theory, and we'll take a short break and then come back and wrap this thing up. If you want to do that or not.
Sure. I'm almost ready. I just
what do you mean almost ready?
I have a 3-minute
let's do that 3-minute thing then.
All right, yeah, it's about.
And then we'll do critical joke theory while GD gets his shit together and gets ready.
Hey.
Right. This was made with in-video AI.
Oh, you're back. Your 3-day suspension period is.
No, this is one I had one just in the can.
Oh,
so
you had it in your can.
Yep.
It gets crowded in there after a while. You got to get one out.
What happened? The gerbils didn't have room.
Here we go.
Ever pondered the possibility of existence being nothing more than a grandiose simulation? Does the idea of a pool table in Pennsylvania potentially hold the keys to this cosmic riddle? The seemingly innocent act of arranging pool balls in a numerical sequence might just be the trigger to unraveling the fabric of our universe. A fascinating theory, wouldn't you agree? Delve deeper into this enigma, and you will find yourself at the crossroads of reality and illusion. This is simulation theory, the hypothesis that all reality, including Earth and the universe, could in fact be an artificial simulation, such as a computer simulation. It's a concept that blurs the lines between science, philosophy, and even science fiction. It's not just a wild conjecture. Renowned physicist and philosopher Nick Bostrom proposed this theory back in 2003. He suggested that future generations might possess the technological prowess to run detailed simulations of their forebears. Now imagine if we are those forebears living in a simulated reality designed by our descendants. However, skepticism abounds. Critics argue that any civilization advanced enough to simulate consciousness would likely be in simulating their past. They might even be extinct. Yet the theory persists, tantalizing minds with its profound implications. But what about the pool table in Pennsylvania? Enter Ed Sandwich, a theoretical physicist and a keen pool player. Ed suggests that the universe operates according to fixed laws, much like a game of pool. The balls, once hit, will follow a predetermined path based on the laws of physics. Similarly, the universe might operate on preset algorithms, revealing itself only when the right sequence is triggered. By this analogy, arranging pool balls in a numerical sequence could be akin to inputting a specific code into the universe's operating system. This action might trigger an event, perhaps even the revelation that we are indeed living in a simulation. So, what have we unraveled in our quest? We've explored the intriguing concept of simulation theory, its origins, and its implications. We've considered the skepticism surrounding it and delved into the hypothesis proposed by Ed Sandwich. The pool table in Pennsylvania might seem like a far-fetched trigger for unraveling the cosmos. But in a world where reality could be a simulation, there's no limit to the possibilities. In the grand scheme of things, whether we are in a simulation or not, might not alter our daily lives. But it does offer a radical new perspective on existence. It challenges us to question, to explore, and to understand the universe in ways we never thought possible. And in that quest for understanding, we might just find ourselves playing a game of pool in Pennsylvania, waiting for the universe to reveal its secrets.
I'm not playing pool in Pennsylvania. No, not ever. Now, is Ed Sandwich a real guy?
No, he is not a real guy.
Nick Bostrom's a real guy, and we might have him on the program. I mean, I've been pursuing him for 3 years. He keeps giving me maybes, but there's a possibility in the fall we'll get Nick Bostrom on the program to talk about this. Have you ever? Do you ever consider this as like a serious idea? This simulation, or is it just something to make fun of?
It's kind of something to make fun of for me. I mean, it's like a lot of those things. It's just something to have
credence in it.
Well, Nick is, he's really smart. I mean, he's one of these people you would put the label. I mean, education-wise, nobody I know can match him as far as education and physics and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think he's ever been a theologian or kind of taking that approach to it. But so just on the science background, I think you got to give him, at least hear him out on his stuff, hear him talk about it, rather than people who've read his book talk about it like they're experts. So
well, I want to tell people that video where it says Nick Bostrom, that is not him, everyone. That is a guy actually eating light bulbs. That's what's happening.
Where did
I thought that's what he did. I thought that's what he was
some of that
for.
stock footage was not from in video. That, I mean, the tit bouncing with the guy's head on it, that was from in video?
No, I used in video and CapCut. And I use like reels that I have on my phone, then also some stock footage that I have of just random things.
That was pretty odd stock footage. If I don't even know what to put in for search engines to find man with a rubber titty bouncing with a head on it or something. I don't know what the hell. And the cow. Out of nowhere,
ruminating cow. I have that also on my phone and on my computer. Ruminating cow.
It must be a Pennsylvania, Maryland thing.
That cow is famous. Matter of fact, you don't even try to get a date with her. She's booked.
All right. Are you ready to go with your little jokey thing?
I've been ready for like 10 minutes, man.
Your judicial croak theory.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Play your judicial croak theory.
Hello, welcome to Critical Joke Theory with your host, G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist. Now with new joke technology.
I want old joke technology.
Really? Okay. Hi, I'm G.D. Fenderson, certified forensic humorist at large, but I'm losing weight. Welcome to Critical Joke Theory, episode 50, now with new joke technology, an open caption for the humor impaired. Oh, wrong button. Ha. A 79-year-old American woman was killed by a bull elephant while on safari in Zambia. The woman was on safari, not the elephant. The elephant was just walking. Apparently, the elephant attacked the vehicle that the tourists were riding in. This is the mating season for the bull elephants. The bull elephant could have seen the truck as a potential rival, talk about insecure, or a potential mate, talk about your beer goggles. The bull elephant's mating season is called must, as in I must get some action or my balls are going to explode. New York State Police, wrong one. Here we go. Nope, wrong. I apologize, peoples, my hand slid. New York State Police filed charges against a man whom they allege sent threatening messages to Judge Arthur Engoron and New York Attorney General Letitia James. A person with direct knowledge of the matter told NBC News. Tyler Vogel of Lancaster. Oh, damn it. Sorry, guys. That's Tyler Vogel. Tyler Vogel, 26, of Lancaster, New York, not pictured here, faces a felony charge for allegedly making a terroristic threat against James after finding her information online and threatening her with death or injury if she did not drop her case against Trump, the source said. Trump will no doubt claim the man is either Antifa or a Biden supporter with immigrant ties to Mexican rapists.
You know what?
Vogel,